to introduce Carl Wolfson, who's been teaching this class and been doing stand-up for over 46 years.
Wow, what an introduction.
Shit, Kevin, ladies and gentlemen. We have 6 comics tonight. Give them all a round of applause. This is one of their 2 graduation shows, and some of my students have already graduated and gone on to do incredible work in comedy. Silence. All right. No, this has been a good group, and you're going to have a fun time tonight. I don't know why I looked at you, Calvin. I don't know why. This is my 46th year of starting stand-up, and many of you have heard this joke before, but those who haven't, I am very nostalgic about nearly 5 decades in comedy. I was on Alan Thicke's show, Thick of the Night, every week, and Alan passed away suddenly. I was on Joan Rivers every month. Joan passed away suddenly. I kind of wish I'd been on The Apprentice. Now we got the second Trump term, or as I call it, Wicked Part 2. Somebody has got to tell Trump that the Gulf of America identifies as transatlantic. I have no idea why he punched our greatest friend in the world in the face, Canada. Canada! What has Canada ever done to the United States? Any Canadians here? People are looking around like they're being, it's the most dangerous thing I've ever seen from Canada. About 4 years ago, a beaver who had rabies crossed across the border and bit Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because that is a mean woman, isn't it? Marjorie Taylor Greene, half German, half shepherd, that woman. Thank you. Johanna's our laugher tonight, thank you. Thank you. My husband and I just celebrated our 27th anniversary, and thank you. 54 in straight years, but we have a dilemma, and I'll admit it right now. About 9 months ago, we bought a car, and all right, you're ahead of me. So let's just say this: it's an odd time when I'm out about my gay relationship, but in the closet about my Tesla. I have a bumper sticker that says, "This is a Buick Regal." Fuck Elon Musk, man. You know, Elon Musk looking for corruption is like OJ looking for the real murderer. Yeah. He doesn't like the pronouns, so I got some for him. He, him, Hitler. Of course, Trump is me, me, me. Of course. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. actually said that some pesticides make people gay. Yeah, I remember when I was 10, my parents sent me out to be crop dusted. Bronchitis awareness, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. I didn't understand gay Republicans. That just flummoxes me. They used to call them log cabin Republicans. Now it's LGBTQAnon. Are you ready for a great show tonight, ladies and gentlemen? I really enjoy teaching my classes, and I've enjoyed having every one of these students. And remember, next Friday we have another showcase at welcome. Good to have you here on time. Come on in. Yeah, we have a next showcase at 9 o'clock, Friday the 28th, so I hope to see most of you here. Joining us now, it's been a real pleasure to have him in the class. He's been doing stand-up around town for quite a while now. Please welcome Billy Mamata, ladies and gentlemen. Billy!
Keep it going for Carl, everybody. My name is Billy, and I know how hard it is when you meet new people and remember their names. That's why I like to tell people I'm from Korea. Because they might not remember the country, the name, but will remember the country. So they'll be like, "Oh, you're the guy from Korea, right?" And I'll be like, "No. I told you I'm from China." Do we all look the same to you? Like, people feel uncomfortable. I don't know why people assume I'm from Asia. It's like it's written in my face. But I'm from Brazil. Some people are like, you're not from Brazil. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, but I don't say that out loud because of Trump. I don't want to get deported, so I say I'm from Japan. I think that's safer. But, coming to US, English is difficult. I get stuff wrong all the time, and people get me wrong. So the other day, this person introduced herself, and she said she was queer. But the whole time I thought she said she was from Korea. So I was like, oh, really? And she's like, what do you mean, oh, really? If you didn't say anything, I would never know. And she's like, what? Don't get me wrong, like, I love you people. I'm not like you, but, I'm a man. But I like BTS. And then I was asking, so your parents Korean? Like, no. Do you have the citizenship then? No, I just identify as queer. I don't think that's how it works. But anyways, I misgender people a lot, and I think it's terrible. I want to be better at that, but it's really hard. So I decided to misgender everybody, like, across the board. And, misgendering, like, transgender people, it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay that you should do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's okay because they take, it's fine. But if you, okay. What I'm trying to say is, there are worse people to misgender. Have you tried to misgender a guy? You get punched in the face, okay? Or misgender parents. That's also terrible. Don't do that. I also learned from the community that I'm cisgender. I didn't know that. I thought I just liked women. Turns out I'm cisgender. And I'm like, okay, what is cisgender like? What should I do? Like, how do I, am I behaving as a cisgender would behave, You know what I mean? Like, should I tell my parents? I didn't tell my parents, out of shame. But turns out, my parents are cisgender as well. Like, both of them. So I was like, and then you start questioning stuff, like, you're like, okay, wow, I'm cisgender, but I'm having sex with the opposite sex. Is that wrong? I mean, it's the opposite sex. Should we have sex with, the same sex? Like God intended? You know what I mean? I'm a cross-dresser. Because I'm short. You know what I mean? It's hard to find clothes of my size. So women's clothes fit better. I'm not talking about bra, I'm talking about regular clothes. You know how embarrassing it is? So, to go to a store and you don't find your size, so all my clothes are Gap Kids. And I'm at the store and I'm pretending it's not for me, but at the same time I'm like, it's for my nephew. Okay, so did you guys know that half of our cells are actually bacteria? That's right. Half of you is made of immigrants. Illegal immigrants. Of course, some of them make you sick, some bad apples, but most of them are good people. They do important work, in the digestive system. Things those white cells don't want to do. The white cells just want to kill everybody. Kill and deport. That's why they're called white cells. But we should not get rid of the white cells. Not all of them. Because then your borders get exposed, right? And some foreigner cells bring diseases, like the Salmonella cartel. But you should keep them in check. Because, if the white cells go crazy, you get the opposite problem, like autoimmune diseases. Things like lupus, type 1 diabetes, KKK, Nazi party. So we should keep them in check. I'm single. So I'm trying to change this. So I'm on Tinder, but that app is the worst. I don't like Tinder. I don't get any luck, and I only get like dick pics on my phone. I don't know what's wrong. So I get this match, and I don't message right away. But by the time I message, it's already too late. So she doesn't reply. So I'm like, what should I do? So I told my friend, and my friend was like, dude, just step up your game. Like, just send some dick pics. I'm like, dick pics? Does it really work? So he said, imagine the opposite. If she sends you pictures of her pussy, what would you do? And it made a lot of sense. I was like, yeah. Got the point. So I went back home. I'm like, okay, let's take this dick pic. How do I do this? Should I squat? How about the background? Should I go maybe outside? Show that I'm outdoorsy. But it's really hard to take a dick pic outside. I don't know if you guys tried. It's cold. And people are staring at you, right? So by the time I take, I get the filter and the light, everything alright, it's soft again. I cannot send this to her. She's not gonna message me again. So I'm like, what should I do? What's the next best thing? Okay, let's Google this shit. I'm gonna go Google, and I'm gonna download tons of dick pics. And I'm gonna send her the best. But I don't have a good taste on dick. So it takes me longer to find a good one. And it has to be realistic, right? I cannot send like an enormous dick, right? She won't believe me. But I found a good one. It's pretty, solid. It has personality, it's not just a piece of meat. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna send this one. But what should I say? I should say something, right? I cannot just send a dick pic. It's uninvited, right? What should I say? So I was like, hi, I was thinking about you this morning and, no, that's not good. How about, hey, wanna grab something to eat? So I sent to her. And immediately after, I'm panicking. I'm like, what if she asks for more? I don't have more. So I go back on Google to find, I don't know, other 10 matching dicks, in case she asks for more. But at the end of the day, she didn't message me again, and all I get was these dick pics on my phone. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Thank you, everybody. We're an awesome audience.
Billy Mamato, ladies and gentlemen. Billy, when he signed up for the class, sent in a picture, and we still let him join. Billy Mamato, ladies and gentlemen, Billy Mamato. By the way, I just want to let you know that at least for the next 4 years, the show you're going to see tonight is better than anything you'll see at the Kennedy Center. Thank you for getting that. Calvin, you're up on the news. I really appreciate it. Yeah, my husband and I, 27 plus years together, and you know, it's not like those early fun years. I mean, it's still good, but you know, we know each other. It's like, we just got a new dog, and I'm in the living room. Gary's cooking dinner in the kitchen. I'm in the living room, and I tell my jokes to Roxy because, you know, she will tell me if they're good or not. So I'm in there telling the jokes, and I hear Gary go, "Won't be as funny the 50th time you've heard it, Roxy." We got her DNA, though. We got her DNA done. She's 39.9% Chihuahua. She's a rescue. 12% poodle, 10% terrier, rat terrier, and then the rest is undetermined. So, you know, that's all. We had her crop dusted. She's a lesbian now. So, thank you. This class also helps me to write, so it's really good. One more time for Billy, and yeah, good stuff. Very, very fun guy. A lot of poise, and you know, he's Korean. Or queer. I don't know what it is. Queer, North queer, South queer. I don't know. There's a demilitarized zone there somewhere. All right. Yeah. All right. Can you imagine trying to look for 10 matching dicks? God, I remember those days. Life was so good. Joining us now is my third class with me, and she's just really wonderful, and her husband's here tonight to support her. Please welcome Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. Jennifer Bloom!
That's right. I wore these boots, so if I'm not funny, I'm hoping that the boots will distract you. Thank you, Carl. So, my name is Jennifer, and this is my third class with Comedy Sports, and my third class with Carl. So, shout out, Carl. Woo! Shout out Comedy Sports. I mean, I guess at this point you think I would catch on to something, but, well, here we are. So, you know what's interesting? The more I get exposed to comedy, stand-up comedy, the more I realize how similar it is to my day job. And that is interviewing or helping people interviewing for jobs. They're very, very similar, right? I've been a recruiter for 20 years, and my job is to help people through the interview process. But like stand-up, basically, when you interview, you're in front of basically a group of self-satisfied assholes. Present company excluded, of course. And you've got about 10 minutes before they decide if you go home with any kind of self-esteem or if you're going to go drown yourself in self-pity and bourbon. Same thing. You know, interviewing for work is actually kind of funny. It's kind of like a production, right? Everyone is putting on a show. Everyone is lying, right? I mean, all parties have to act and grandstand like this company is the be-all and end-all of all companies. It's the dream, right? Hiring managers have to pretend that this is the best company on the planet. We got the best customers, and the best product, and the best culture, and the best snacks, right? Candidates have to grandstand and act like this is the dream. This is the company. When they're asked, well, why do you want to work for this company? Oh man, you had better say, it's always been my dream to be an accounts receivable clerk for waste management. Anything less, you're up, right? Wouldn't it be awesome if everyone just relaxed and told the truth? Had an honest conversation? What would that look like? Let's role play. Well, Jennifer, I see that you recently left your last job. Why did you leave? because they were assholes. They micromanaged the shit out of me, and they expected me to name my firstborn after them. Mr. Employer, what's it like to work here? My boss hates me. I'm terrified that I'm going to lose my job every day, and I've got an ulcer. So what would you say? You know, on second thought, maybe we shouldn't be so honest. Nobody would work anywhere, right? I know. Let's play a game, you and me. So I want you to tell me a question that you've been asked in an interview or that you do ask in an interview, and I will tell you what it really means, what they're really looking for. Does anybody have anything?
What are your weaknesses?
What are your weaknesses? You know what that question's asking? Are you a wuss? Are you a crybaby? Are you going to be high maintenance? Can you do the stupid job we're asking you to do? That's what that question's asking. All right, who else?
Have you ever broken a rule?
Okay, that question is like, are you a fucking maverick? Are you gonna go rogue? Or are you just gonna shut your trap, put your head down, and do what I tell you? Right? Anybody else?
What was the time you failed?
Tell me about a time you failed. Yeah. Are you lousy at your job? I don't think that was a big stretch. Well, anyway. Thanks for playing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's all subterfuge. Now, like I said, you know, comedy is relatively new to me, clearly. But interviewing is not. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I actually currently work for a group of self-satisfied assholes. Who here can empathize with me? Who here got that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? You know, they're actually a startup, right? Startups are funny because they are founded by entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are great. They're typically a group of high school or college bros with a great idea and a lot of moxie, right? And they're really good at developing, most of the time, a great idea and bringing it to market. But it's when the business starts to scale and they need to hire people that the trouble starts, right? Because they are so passionate and have put in so much blood, sweat, and tears into what they've developed, they honestly believe that anyone they hire thereafter had better have the same level of soul-sucking commitment that they do, right? They don't realize people don't give a shit about your mission. They just want to maintain their relationship with the electric company, like the rest of us, right? And it's interesting, you know, entrepreneurs are like, well, we don't have to pay people market value. They can live off our mission and our culture and our stupid company swag. Right? I mean, people are pressured into wearing monogrammed polo shirts or t-shirts or sweatshirts or worse yet, the hipster hat. The truth is, and this is the honest truth, and tell me if you say amen if you believe it, people are sick to death of Fiesta Fridays, Motivational Mondays, and the truth is, no one wants to take your stupid trust-building exercise, right? People go to work so they can pay the bills, so they get the hell out of there and go home, right? So, and like I said, I work for a startup. They're 4 years old and they're based out of Salt Lake City. And they were founded by the community of LDS, the Mormons. And unfortunately, when you go to a company event, I don't have the luxury of doing what most employees get to do, and that's drinking lots of alcohol to get myself through it, right? No. You know what the Mormons do to relieve stress? They mix Dr. Pepper with Diet Coke. There's nothing that Salt Lake City residents love more than their soda bars and Botox. Just saying. So, yeah, you know, you would think being founded by Mormons, they would be empathetic and a benevolent kind of employer. To that I say, hell no. I have never worked with a more ruthless, cutthroat group of people in my life. You know, they may love their neighbor, they don't give a shit about their employees. Just saying. And, and it's funny, well, I love it. This is what $5 worth of company gets you, so. So anyway, yeah, and yeah, they have a philosophy, right? It's this business, baby. You know, if you can't make it in the first 30 days, you're out. You know, I figure maybe it's their revenge from all the doors that were slammed in their faces from their mission trips. I mean, I don't know. But back to entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs they love reading motivational books. They love reading business books, right? John Maxwell, Tim Collins, they love motivational books. They love listening to TED Talks by motivational, self-satisfied assholes. Right? I mean, they love the platitudes. You know, you've got to earn the right to be right. And fire bullets, not cannonballs. And who stole my fucking cheese? I don't know. And then, you know, it's almost scary to go on vacation, when entrepreneurs go on vacation, because they typically read these motivational books. They come back and the whole office goes in a different direction because they read something shiny. It can cause you whiplash, right? I mean, I'm afraid to go on vacation because who the hell knows what's going to come in when I get back. And then they love to have mandatory, rambling, self-important meetings when they're going to spew off platitudes from, you know, who knows what, Jim Collins or whatever. I've got a platitude. Nobody's inspired. Nobody cares. Just saying. You know, entrepreneurs love to say, this isn't a company, this isn't a job, this is a movement. You know, I can kind of get behind that. I have 2 to 3 movements a day, so you know, I can get that. Just saying. So it's funny because entrepreneurs have a hard time letting go. Once the company scales, it gets to a size where they need to hire experts, they have a hard time letting go. And the great example of this is how they feel about human resources. Entrepreneurs hate HR. Hate them. Because they don't want to be told what they cannot do. Oh, I can't discriminate when I hire. I can't tell lewd, inappropriate jokes. I can't sleep with my employees. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But they love to blame HR when employees can't stand their smug culture and so they can't retain anybody. Go figure. You know, they're disruptive because they're bringing something to the market and they love to disrupt, but they also disrupt their company, and it can create whiplash. They may say, hey, I have a good idea. We need to hire a director of recruiting to whip our recruiting team into shape and streamline efficiency. Great. And then a month or 3 months later, they're going to come back and say, I read something, and we're going to switch directions, and we're going to dismantle recruiting and put them into sales. Won't that be fun? Sorry, Jen, we don't need you anymore, but you can keep the hat. I'm not talking, it's not about me. What are you looking at? I'm not bitter. I'm not talking about. But, you know, like comedy, working for entrepreneurs, I received the highs and the lows and the bone-deep humiliation. But I do get to keep the hipster hat.
Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen, she loves her job. Jennifer Bloom. I dated a Mormon in the 80s. Yeah, until I found out I was the 5th sister wife. Put a kibosh right on that. You know, one more time for Jennifer. I started comedy in 1979 and all through the 80s and 90s. I mean, I was headlining clubs in the started in the early 80s. And when you're a headliner going around the country and you're young, which I was, you're hitting on a lot of guys if you're gay. Boy, that brought the crowd to a, yeah, so it's just like straight guys hitting on women. So I was in, at the Conopoli Beach Marriott, and this was 1986. And I don't know why I brought up this story, it's the Mormon kid. But there was a very cute guy at the hotel desk. So after my show, I was kind of talking to him, hitting on him, and he seemed to be into it. So I gave him my room number, and I said, when you get off, if you want to come up. So at like 10:10, I hear a knock at the door, and it's this kid. And I opened the door, well, kid, he was like, 24, let's say. Yeah. Fuck, I almost walked into a felony. Just put an F on Elon and you got it. No, he was like 24, 25, but I wasn't much older than that. And so I opened the door and he said to me, I said, thanks for calling. He goes, are you a homosexual? And I said, yeah. So he handed me a pamphlet. True story. His church pamphlet, in which he read me the headline that if I prayed hard enough, I could become straight. So I told him, come on in, let's get on our knees and pray. Dropped the pamphlet, never saw him again. That was my version of DEI. All right, so I've never told that story on stage, and certainly 24 and up, I'm sure he was. All right, one more time for Jennifer Boone. I have to say one thing. I've been to all 50 states, performed in all 50 states. Arkansas is a state you should, anybody who's not been to Arkansas, raise your hand, because you should go. There should be tours. You'll see shit in Arkansas you'll never see anywhere else. When I was there, I was performing in Little Rock, I saw a 12-year-old girl smoking right in front of her children. It was... and they have just flags, American flags everywhere, and churches and flags and flags and churches. And I learned something on that trip that I had no idea. During World War II, you know what group brought suit to prevent kids from being forced to say the Pledge of Allegiance in American schools? Does anyone know? Jehovah's Witnesses. Because they believe that the American flag is a graven image. These are people who worship the doorbell. Hail Mary, full of grace, Avon's now in second place. Some of you too young to know what Avon is, but Johanna's honking, so I'll go with it. Now, I've had Jehovah's Witnesses in my crowds, and they love that joke. They come after me after the show, and they love that joke. They prefer not jokes, but they like that joke. I guess Mormons, whatever. It's all just, we're all God's children. Anyway, let's just get on our knees and pray, shall we? Phil, you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go from extremely gay to extremely straight with our next He's a big hit with the ladies, and one of the funniest people I've ever met. Please welcome Phil Tibet, ladies. Phil Tibet!
What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming out. So listen, guys, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I turned 30 a couple of months ago, and I I'm single, so I decided to like look back and kind of see like, are there any patterns that I'm like repeating in my dating life that I might want to address because I'm single, you know? Like I'm confused. I'm just as confused as you guys are about that. I don't get it. And I realized I have two types. I have two types when it comes to women. The first type is kind of rare in Portland. I found one actually. It's like a brunette, Mediterranean, big eyes, olive skin, thick eyebrows. Kind of rare. I found one, but you know, it didn't really work out the way we wanted it to. The other type is plentiful in Portland. Actually, I feel like I've looked at the crowd and I feel like there's a few of them in here tonight. The problem with the other type is that they're not typically the kind of people that would be interested in someone like me. And what I mean by that is that they're lesbians. It's weird. It's weird, but it's just been my truth ever since I was a kid. I was always into the sporty girls, the girls that don't wear makeup, the girls that rather wear a t-shirt than a dress. Does it sound like I'm describing a lesbian? Because I can't seem to get that through my own head sometimes. And there's actually a term for this. I looked this up. It's called being homo-oblivious, and I very much am that. Apparently. As an example, one of my first crushes is now married to my sister. This is a real thing. I'm not making that. None of this is made up. This is all true stuff. And you know, selfishly, I would like to use this time to go a little bit deeper on lesbians, and that sounds like a really good time, but I wish. I want to do an analysis because I don't understand, like, why? And like, more so than why, like, what kind of lesbian am I typically attracting or attracted to, right? Like, it's definitely the on the fence one, right? It's like the one that's maybe a little bit confused. I'm not going to be attracting the butch women, let's be honest here, right? So, am I the first step into lesbianism for these girls? Or am I the last step out of being straight? And like, is there a difference? And why does it matter? But when it happens, as much as it happens to me, you wonder these things, right? I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. Like, am I converting? I don't want to make myself more important than I am. Okay? Like, I understand. But am I converting these girls into being gay? And more importantly, do I have the ability to turn them back? I don't know. So far, I'm like 0-12 on reconversions, but I'll keep you guys posted on how that develops in the future. So I moved to Portland like 6 years ago, and I was pumped. I was like, yo, Portland is like the San Francisco for lesbians. I was like, this is like the breeding ground of lesbians. This is going to be fantastic. But unfortunately, like, it's not been the bountiful fountain of lesbians that I thought it was going to be. And I got to choose my words wisely here because, like, I've got a lot of lesbian friends. But the Portland lesbians kind of hate men. You know what? They kind of hate men a little bit, and it makes it really hard for me to, like, breach. Like, I can't weasel my way in with these girls. It's not going to work. It's not like a New York or a Paris lesbian that you kind of got a shot. Like, this is not... It's not happening. And so I decided, okay, fuck it. I'm going to get on the dating apps. We'll see what's out there. I'll try to get myself a nice straight girl. And, man, I did. I did. Couple months ago, I met this awesome girl. She was hot, smart, funny, athletic, soccer girl, lives a few blocks away. I was like, shit, I hit the jackpot. We went on like 6-7 dates. Everything was wonderful. Introduced her to some of my friends. Started telling my family about her. I was like seeing the future with this girl. And then I got a text from her one day and she's like, hey Phil, I gotta tell you something. I'm leaving you for a woman. I was devastated. Not surprised. But I was devastated. And my reaction was naturally like, "Why are you gay?" No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. My reaction was to go scream into a pillow. But then I called her, and then I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And this is how recent this was. She was like, "Look, I know it's stupid. You could even put this in your set if you wanted." And I was like, "Bitch, I don't need more material. I've been doing this for 15 years. I have plenty of stories to tell." But here I am telling you guys the story, so that tells you a lot about me, and it also tells you that this is how I'm supposed to deal with my trauma, of course. So I called my dad, because I got to fill the guy in. My dad's a Lebanese man. He's sitting there quietly listening to the story. I'm like, "Baba, she left me for another girl." And he was like, "Philo, I have one question for you. Did she leave you before or after you had sex with her?" And I was like, "Baba, that's not what happened." He's like, "Philo, if after sex, you and me, we have big problem." And I was like, "Baba, no." He said, "Philo, I tell you, focus on Lebanese, not lesbian, ya hmar. Always with the lesbian, you play stupid game, you win stupid prizes." Thank you, Dad. Thank you. So then I called. So then I called my friends up. I had to tell the boys what's going on, and I'm like, "Guys, like, my girl left me for a girl, and these motherfuckers all have these stupid reactions. It's like, welcome to Portland. At least it wasn't a guy. Like, how does that make me feel better? She bats for the other team. She's got, she wants different equipment. You can't compete, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, yo, this is not helpful. And then there's always one guy who's got a twinkle in his eye. And he's like, "Did you ask for the threesome?" The threesome. The threesome. Like, as if that's like a choice, like a trump card that I could just like Hail Mary throw at her. "Hey, listen, I know that you're breaking up with me, but your girlfriend seems rather lovely, so why don't you guys come to my place on Friday and we could just all have sex the original way." I'm not down, but like, come on, that shit's never gonna work. Not with a Portland lesbian, that's for sure. I have to say, the apps are weird, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. Like, I really think I'm super close to having like just a wicked profile, like a profile where you're like, you could crush on that thing. You know what I mean? But there's one thing holding me back, and it's a weird one because it's like, in real life, I'm 5'9". I don't think that matters. But I don't know what kind of fucked up exchange rate they use on these apps. 5'9" is not cutting it. I feel like it's quite binary now for women. It's like 6 foot and above, or go fuck yourself. You're too short to ride. Like, there's not. They don't even look at you. You just get thrown out. It's crazy. So yeah, dating's been a fucking nightmare. And I spoke to one of my friends who's a girl about it, and I took great solace in knowing that it's equally as difficult for her. She was telling me that she's like a 10 out of 10. This girl's hot, smart, whatever. And she's telling me that she started seeing this guy, and he's an EMT and a DJ. And I was like, that's pretty cool. How long have you guys been going out together? Is it serious? Have you slept together? And she said, no, we haven't slept together. He's very religious. He goes to church every Sunday. And I was like, a little weird. The last few years have been difficult. People have turned to Jesus. I get it. I could ride with that. That's fine. So I said, okay, so how do you guys like to spend your time? And she was like, well, typically I'll go to his place, he'll DJ, and then we'll do some cocaine, because he sells it. Say, so you're dating the DJ, EMT, churchgoer, cocaine dealer? Like, and that's working. So I judged the guy. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, how do you, this is the most incoherent, paradoxical person. It doesn't make sense. You're like, how are you a real human being? But then I took a step back, because it's important to take a step back sometimes. And I was like, he's crushing a 10. I'm out here chasing lesbians. Like, I think I need to change my spiel. And I came up with a good, well, I think it's a good one. You guys let me know. Hi, my name's Philippe. I'm a vegan accountant / gigolo. I like to moonlight with Antifa, and except for the summer months where I like to go elk hunting in the backcountry. I feel like that's the right combination of shit that doesn't make sense that might just work in this fucked up city that we live in. I don't know. So, man, the bar is so low, guys and girls. The bar is so fucking low. You should see some of the prompts on these apps. Some of these prompts are great. You know, one's like, I'm just looking for someone who's going to be honest. Okay. I'm just looking for someone who's got a full set of teeth. All right. I saw one girl, she's like, I'm looking for someone, I don't even need you to have a full set of teeth. I just want you to be nice to me. Fuck. Fucking hell. This is dark. And so, I think the bar is so low that it's confused everyone. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I'm French. I like to wear nice clothes. I have a certain level of personal hygiene that I like to uphold. I am expressive of my love of my friends. I am an open communicator. So naturally, in this sophisticated and modern world, a lot of the girls think that I'm gay. And it's kind of a fucked up double standard because there's no straight girls coming up to you and asking you and your gay partner if you guys want to have a threesome. Like, that is a one-way, that only works in one direction, and I am not getting any love from them. Anyway, so I was like kind of down in the dumps, and I decided to call one of my friends from home because, you know, when you call your old friends, sometimes they give you like perspective, profound information that can help reframe like how you think about things. You know what I mean? And I called him and I was like, dude, all this shit happened. And he's like, Phil, I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. Women are like parking spots. The best ones are taken, and the rest are disabled. I was like, I don't know why he told me that, but it definitely got me out of a dark space. I gotta be honest with you guys. All right, guys, I gotta go pee. Thanks.
There he is, Philippe Cadet, ladies and gentlemen, Philippe Cadet. So, and Philippe, I asked my students to tell their truth, and when Philippe told his truth, I gave him a pamphlet, and one more time, really polished, really fun, really good. Philippe, good luck. He does keep us apprised of his love life, and this particular, he wasn't kidding about the latest. Macy was her name, and what? Is she here tonight? Oh, you know Macy? She had a parade named after her. It was unbelievable. It's a parade of lesbians headed his way. Was I not supposed to? Oh, geez. That's all right. The money's in for the class. That ship sailed in January, pal. So, read her messages in class. It was great. That's what I tell my students. Tell your truth. It's brutal sometimes, but tell it, you know? Tell it. PortlandComedy.com. You can sign up. The classes for April are posted. We had a couple classes ago. I had a 51-year-old woman, very funny, and I asked her why she was taking the comedy class, and she said, I spent $275 so I could be the center of attention for 5 minutes. I know that was honest, right? And I asked her what happened to her like in the last week. She said, my daughter told me she was polyamorous. And I said, well, what did you say? I said, I told her when I was a kid, that was called a slut. So, you know, comedy's there. One more time for Philip. All right, you want to help Phil out? You know what he's looking for. Just, you know, he needs 20 minutes of more material, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he needs. I want him to take the advanced class, so lesbians get to work. Thank you for coming out tonight. I was just telling Michael, who's next up, fuck, I wish I had a waist like that again. You know, it's just, fuck, man. I wish I were Parisian.
It's the depression.
It's what?
It's the depression.
Oh, this is the depression? Oh, so I'm a fat, jolly guy. Is that what you're saying? Jesus Christ. All right. All right, we're halfway through the show, and we got 3 more comics. You ready? Well, that's the end of the show, ladies. I really needed some interest there to move the show along. Are you ready for it? Very funny guy. I think it's his second or third. Is it third? Second class with me. Please welcome Michael Moylan. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Moylan.
Good evening, everybody. Got a lot of young folks in the crowd here, which is going to make me feel at home. I'm a former elementary school teacher, and I'm going to be doing a little read aloud tonight. My memory is out in the parking lot and refuses to come in here, so I'm going to be doing a little reading as the evening goes on. So bear with me. Isn't that young man Carl such a fine MC?
People who are older than me get half price in the class.
Yeah, go and find them, Carl. Anyway, so, you know, at my age, I'm looking for a little spice every once in a while. So I thought, you know, I'll marry a grandmother. And check that box. Boy, is she hot. It comes in flashes, however. So lately we've been really getting into crepe. Some of you have probably no idea what crepe is. You're thinking it's maybe something you eat. But no, it's that crinkly skin that sort of appears at a certain age. Damn, that stuff is all over. But I figure when you're given a lemon, make lemonade. So lately, we have been exploring the sensual aspects of crepe. You might want to jot some of this down for later in life. Doesn't look like a lot of you will need it right now. But, you know, it's kind of like, on occasion, it's like a xylophone. You know, you can run your hand across it. And we're trying still to figure out certain keys within that xylophone. There's also texture. You gotta love texture. I don't know what it is about my background, but I just love texture. And God, we have texture, don't we? Yeah. You know, occasionally, I even get that smell of like old books. I love that smell. I don't know how it gets into that, but it's wonderful. She's hiding behind her hand right now, thinking, why is this man telling all this? So one of the things we're really enjoying are these location devices, these electronic location devices. It really helps us at night when we go to the bathroom. I placed one on our bed so in the night we can find our way back. So anyway, aging. Aging is the kind of thing you can't live without. You know, if you want to live, you gotta go through aging. So buck up there, guys. I've got a friend who's always in my ear. You know, I wouldn't say he's a good friend. He's direct with me. He'll say things like, Mike, retirement's terminal. Enjoy yourself. I get this point. You know, he's not being mean. He's just, it's time, buddy. It's time. You got to get out and do it. No one's getting out of here alive is another one of his famous sayings. He tells me to, Mike, focus. You got to focus. You got to enjoy yourself. So I thought, you know, okay, so retirement is the final frontier, you know. I find the Grim Reaper sort of inspiring because I look at a lot of my peers, my fellow elders, and they're talking about their last time to do something. You know, last time they climbed a mountain, last time they were able to run after a bus, last time they had a good bowel movement. That's kind of, yeah. You'd be amazed how much that comes into conversation in your life later on. Not me, however. I'm leaning towards firsts. I've been really working out a lot lately, getting myself in shape. I've hired myself an agent. He promises me any day now he might be able to get me my first nude scene. Now you laugh, but you know some of my fellow elders here have been talking about our time as elders, and one thing that's becoming really popular for us aging boomers is elder porn. So, it's a growing market. All right. One of the challenges I have with this possible new profession is I'm not very limber. You know, you'll find out. As you age, stiffness is a part of it. You know, you can't avoid the stiffness. I just wish it would come when and where I need it, but it doesn't work that way. If I could corral all that stiffness in one particular location, look out, Grandma, here I come. Anyway. Yoga is amazing for likes of myself. I do have some favorite poses. Do we have any fellow yoga? We do. Good. That's all. Come on. I would have thought that would be big here in Portland. Anyway, favorite poses. Sort of, basics. Child pose, downward dog. I've recently been enjoying a new pose that I'm finding pretty dang exciting. It's called upward penis. My wife likes to join in. She's considering it a partner pose now. She likes to give me a hand. Yes, she does. Anyway, let's see. So these are tough times for science. So I would encourage you to keep your money donations coming into science, especially for the stiffness relocation project. All right. Now, I have come to realize that at my age, becoming a sage is probably not in my future. It's just, I don't lean in that direction. So there's not many other options. So I'm sort of playing with the idea of a dirty old man. There are some possibilities there. Think about it this way, and you might want to think about yourself and how this would work. If you considered a spectrum from like prude all the way over to pervert, where would you be? I'm sort of playing with that right now. you know, if I'm leaning towards being a dirty old man, I've got some work to do. I'm kind of like, right now I'm just looking a little bit dingy is all I've got. I got to get to work. Well, thank you for that piece. I've got another piece coming up here, which is going to be more of an audience participation piece. So please join in as requested, if you would, please. Brothers and sisters, what the world needs now are some new greetings. I don't know about you, but you've probably been using the same greetings for many years. You know, we need some new excitement. We need a greeting that says, let's have some fun. Let's be devil may care. Let's have some excitement. So I've been on this mission. You know, think about it. Hi, hello, hey. Those are the kind of go-tos we kind of have, aren't they? But they're not doing it anymore for me. And if you're honest with yourself, they're probably not doing it much anymore for folks that you know. They're kind of limp. Limp is not good, actually. limp is bad. So, let's see. There are also the questions. You know, the questions like, how are you? How you been doing? What's happening? But basically, all you get with those are those autopilot kind of responses like fine, or not much, or what's up with you? So I keep playing with what other options are there. You know, you got hola, you have ciao, but they're kind of like cultural appropriation possibly, and I'm kind of avoiding those. So I've gone far and wide. I've climbed mountains, I've gone the distant seas looking for this new way of greeting. And tonight, brethren, I want to share it with you. I am presenting tonight hoopla. You'll understand in a second. Hoopla sets the tone for let's get up to something. It's simply sounding fun. Like the impact sometimes is like, are we simply going to have fun, or are we going to rearrange this room with our bodies? Kind of impact. It has a broad range of possibilities. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you're meeting someone for the first time. It's possibly a first date, and you want to get across your energy to them. So you come in with a nice hoopla! Now, that will get their attention. They're not going to come back with, oh, fine, when you say hoopla to them. Perhaps you're having an existential crisis. You know, one of those moments. I suggest you just hoopla out into the void. You want to try it? Wait and see. Let's try it together. I'll say hoopla, you respond. Hoopla! Hoopla! There you go. Look at that energy. Carl, it works. Yeah.
I just had a bowel movement.
I gotta put that on my notes, Carl. So look, what you give to hoopla, hoopla gives to you. Hoopla is the Swiss knife of greetings. I look around and I see a lot of doubters out there, some non-believers. Cast your doubt out. What if hoopla is really what it's all about? Look, it's not for everybody, I understand. Can I get another hoopla? Hoopla! All right, that's enough of that bit. All right, here we go. You got to experiment with your bits, and that was an experiment. Hoopla! Hoopla! You know, I've been out walking outside of this class one night, and someone actually said hoopla, so I know it's going to catch on eventually. Okay, I'm as facetious as fuck. It just seems that whenever I'm in a room with sincerity, it just exhausts me. I can't take it. The world needs sincerity, but it just needs to stay in its lane. You know what I mean? I'll give you some examples. So I first discovered my issue with sincerity in the 4th grade with Sister Ralph. Um, it's SDD for you folks who like those acronyms. Sincerity Deficit Syndrome. That should be SDS, wouldn't it? All right, never mind. Anyway, Sister Ralph was trying to teach the class how to write a letter. And I don't even remember back, maybe not too many of you remember about writing letters, what you now call snail mail, I guess. But when you started a letter, you were supposed to start out with, like, Dear Mr. Jones. And I'm thinking in my head, even in 4th grade, dear? Really? Do I know Mr. Jones? How can I pull that off? So the rest of the letter, you're giving your message, whatever you want to say to them. And then the important part is at the closing, you know, where you have to say something like, Sister Ralph is expecting yours truly or sincerely yours. I couldn't get there, you know. The best I could do was, that's all I got, take it or leave it. Sister Ralph wasn't smiling about that. You know, one of the reasons I take these classes is I love being around comedians. They're some of the least sincere people I know. It's true, they think everything is a joke, you know. And I'm not going to let you guys off the hook. You're complicit. You're in here tonight because you like insincerity. You know, it's obvious that we are a working dynamic, symbiotic, you might say. And it's lucky we have each other. Without you, it'd be kind of dead in here. All right. I had a crisis recently with a couple I used to know. Well, you may have not experienced this, but sometimes you get around people who are ultra sincere, and it kind of sucks the air out of the room. It puts a lot of pressure on you, you know, to match up to these people who are doing everything right and giving constantly. And so, you know, I just had to show, they weren't staying in their lane, so I just needed to show them where the off-ramp was. It's now become a matter where friends have been turned into strangers. Yeah, it's a sad thing, but a necessary thing at times. Look, sincerity is a straightforward thing. You got to mean what you say and say what you mean. It's a serious tone. You know, you got to be truthful, you got to be sincere, you got to be genuine, you got to be nice. On the other hand, insincerity takes a fair amount of creativity. Let me pull out my prop here for a moment. If you're interested and want to know some ways to be insincere, here we go. You can kiss up, you can butter up, you can put down, you can double deal, you can lie, you can kiss ass. You can manipulate, you can joke around, you can gaslight, you can forge, you can flatter, you can sweet talk, you can fawn, you can indulge in chicanery, and you can give snow jobs. Now, there are ways to be also. You can be sanctimonious, deceitful, fake, two-faced, pretentious, be a know-it-all, a phony, a fraud, obsequious. You can be spurious, and finally, but probably there are others, you can be bogus. Now, doesn't that just warm the cockles of your heart? You know, all these possibilities. Well, I must say, you guys have been the greatest crowd ever. So some of you have been listening. I appreciate that. So, sincerely yours, it's me.
Michael Moylan, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Moylan. Keep going for Michael. It's just one of the things that I've noticed. This is my third year of teaching. That when and I'm sure this is true of the improv classes or stand-up classes as well, when you're thinking creatively and when you're thinking humorously, your antennae are up to find and catch comedy wherever it is. And about 5 years ago, we are a dry cleaner, Mrs. Lee, who's from South Korea. She doesn't speak a lot of English, but she's very funny. And I took in a pair of jeans. You're supposed to point out the stain. And there was a little red stain right here. I pointed it out, and she says, "Is it the lipstick?" Right into the act. Doesn't do well, but right into the act. Some of these are just for you, you know. When you take the improv classes here, when you take the stand-up classes, I think you'll learn to think quickly, more creatively. Some years ago, I tried to avoid public restrooms, but I was sitting there and finished, and there was no toilet paper. Has that ever happened to anyone?
Yes.
Oh my God. So I tapped on the stall next to me and I said, "Do you have any toilet paper in there?" Here it was, "No." So I said, "Is there, you have a Kleenex?" "No." So I said, "Do you have 2 5s for a 10? Cheap fuck. One thing we talk about in class, visuals. You always try to present a visual with your jokes, and I'll give you one example. So I think one of the funniest visuals I've ever heard, and it was in the mid-'80s. I was headlining the Catalina Comedy Club in Avalon. A young guy just came to LA, and he was opening for me, and I actually don't remember, and I never heard of him since. He had one incredible line. He had the sense to end his act with it. I don't remember anything he said about this except this line. He had just gotten to LA, got his first apartment right out of college, and he got a kitten for company. And the kitten went into heat, he said. He didn't know what the hell to do with the kitten in heat. So he got a book, because there was no internet back then. They had a thing called books. He read in the book, when a kitten goes into heat, you're supposed to simulate sex with a Q-tip. Right. He said, that's not the hard part. The hard part is strapping the Q-tip to your waist. Now that is a visual. Where's Philippe? Is he taking notes? He should be writing this shit down, because lesbians love a strap-on. All right. One more time for my friend Michael Moylan. And Michael's wife had to sit through that. Give her a round of applause. Yes! You ready for more comedy, ladies and gentlemen? We have 2 more acts, and they're super acts. Please welcome you guys taking the 3rd class with me. Very energetic, very young. Please welcome Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Jethro!
All right. So I used to look like the kid that shot Trump. But I cut my hair, so now I just look like a closeted soldier from the 1940s. Anyways, so my girlfriend has a fat, hairy pussy. Get your minds out of the gutter, okay? She has an obese cat named Maisie. God, what is wrong with you? No, but something to know about Maisie is she's the kind of cat I like to call a screamer, which means when you open the door to the apartment and you walk up, she comes up to you and goes, "Roar!" And, you know, since she's really fat, her whole body shakes with it, and she creates almost an earthquake-like effect. Now, another important thing to know about Maisie is, Maisie's a cuck. So, I don't know if you've ever been mid-foreplay and look up and see this giant poof ball staring into your soul going... It's really distracting. So now you gotta get up and go get the cat. But at this point, your pants are around your ankles, so you're waddling after it. And for such a fat cat, surprisingly quick and very determined to watch. Now eventually I get the cat and I waddle her out of the room and she's screaming in my face the whole time. Again, very distracting. An important thing they don't tell you in life. If you stub your toe with an erection, you stub your dick too. I had to learn that the hard way. Okay, so now you finally got the cat out of the room. And you can go back to what you were doing. But by this time, it's 8 o'clock. That's food time. Now Maisie is a big girl, okay? Which means she does not miss food. So it really kills the mood when you feel an earthquake-like effect and you hear Okay. Hey, you guys got a prison uncle? Is that just me? Alright. Let me explain. So a prison uncle is not an uncle that has gone to prison, but someone your parent has met in prison and then decided to be friends with outside of prison. Now, a prison uncle is going to teach you the really important things in life, okay? You know, like exactly what an eighth of weed should feel like in your hand, or the still very illegal, but in their own words, proper way to purchase a firearm. Now, prison uncles would also give full-blown physics lectures, of course, fueled by meth. And I don't know about you guys, but I would have paid so much more attention in school if my teacher was on meth every day. Just bright and early, 7 a.m. All right, kids, today we're gonna be learning about fucking chemistry or some shit, I don't know. There's oxygen, hydrogen, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Look at me. What's your name? What is it, Tony? Wrong! It's Timmy! What's your name? Nope, it's Susie now! Alright, kids! Oh my god, look at me, look! There's something really fucking important you gotta know. Jet fuel does not melt steel beams. It was Bush, children! It was Bush! What the fuck are you doing? Are you passing goddamn notes in my class? You son of a bitch! Timmy, you're getting dumped, I'm sorry, but that's what happens, okay? It's just like my bitch wife Sharon. That's right, Mr. Harvey has some fucking problems! Alright, that's it.
Okay. Somebody ate his Wheaties this morning. One more time for Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Any prison uncles here? Anybody been in prison? Well, that quieted the room. Thank you. I'm sure somebody has. Let's turn on the lights. Let's find them. One more. No. I don't have that much power. Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen, just a ball of. Oh gosh, how are you, Andrea? This is Andrea. She'll be on next Friday. Give Andrea a round of applause. Very fun. Come on, put your stuff up. This is Andrea's partner who's going to finish off our show tonight, and he's going to tape a few things up because that's what he did. Yes, you're going to be in school for a little while. It's good. It's good. You gave a lecture of your own, Philip. You did. You just didn't have visuals. Visuals. Thank you. Visuals. You guys are nervous. It's okay. I want to. I don't know. The tape is. It really sucks. Yeah, especially when you're doing bondage and you need to get into it. And you see, oh, now the knife comes out. This is great. I wanna get to the point where my comics start going on the road like I did back in the day. And have you been doing any road gigs?
Tennessee.
You went to Tennessee? That's a fucking road gig. How'd you do in Tennessee?
At least 3 laughs.
At least 3 laughs?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great state. They elect their governor by a drawing at the state fair. I can't go to the South anymore. It's just way too crazy and dangerous down there. I was in Pamplona, Alabama for the running of the Rednecks, and I was gored by their sharp intellect, I have to tell you that. I was in, we're almost ready. I was in Kansas. Anybody been there? I met a guy in Kansas. I don't know if he was telling me the truth or not, but he said he had the hardest job in Kansas. His job was to go around the entire state. And whenever a cow took a shit, he'd have to put down a sign that said, highest point in Kansas. Are we ready yet? I only got 48 more states to go. I was in Montana. I got stopped by a cop. He says, "What wrong?" He said, "Nothing. Just wanted someone to talk to. There's nobody there." Wisconsin, they're the proudest people. They come up to you. These are my kids, Gouda and Velveeta. They're individually wrapped. I have a joke for every state. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're
All right,
ready.
let me do the rest of the 46. No. Please welcome Mark Gurman, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Gurman.
All right, everyone have their notes up? Taking notes of class today.
Yeah.
Our rest has before that, we're going to all rise and sing the national anthem. Please.
Okay.
Canada, our home and native land,
I was just kidding. You have to
true
sing.
patriot love, and all of us command. All right, there we go. Okay, today's class.
Hoopla!
Hoopla! Hoopla, everyone. Today's class is going to be on Risks and Hazards by Mark Gurman, Hard G Risk and Hazard LLC. It's Hard G for Gurman. That's not German, it's Gurman. And LLC is a limited liability company. It's limited to 3 miles. So we're going to talk about hazards. There's plenty of hazards out there in Portland. You can walk around, trip on sidewalks, or bump into trees. Basically, the whole world is a hazard. All of the earth is a hazard. It's unavoidable. Wherever you go, even if there's a soft place, it's a hazard. You can suffocate there. So what we're going to talk about today is limiting the risk and lowering the risk of encountering a hazard that could cause injury or death. And there's many different ways of doing that. The biggest way is to use common sense. That's my opinion. We have a C for common sense here. It's a new hat in America, the C hat. And that's just for common sense, because we all need that. If you do run across a hazard, there's plenty of hazards. Trip hazard, there's holes in the ground. You got to be careful with a hole in the ground. You don't want to walk into a hole in the ground. Basically, avoid the hole in the ground. And then, if you don't know there's a hole in the ground, then it's not a hazard. So you know there's a hole in the ground. But if you do come across a hazard, you need to call OSHA. OSHA, it's not OSUA or whatever that place is at hospital. It's 1-800-321-6742. Call them any time of the day. There's only one person working there now. And you'll be able to get through to somebody at some time in the future. I am prepared. You will have to be prepared. Use common sense. Always be prepared in life. You want to have all your stuff in your car, on your person, in your backpack. You want to have PPE, personal protective equipment. Okay, helmets, gloves. You always want to wear 3 things. Okay, leather, wool, or canvas. Okay, and it's very important. Leather can protect you from cuts. Canvas can protect you from abrasions, and wool, wool doesn't go up in flames. Have you ever seen a sheep ignite? So you always want to do that. The main thing that I always carry is bamboo. I have plenty of this in my truck right now, in the back of my truck, my pickup truck. I have enough to make numerous things. The most important thing that you can make with bamboo is a whistle. And I do carry whistle and mace with me at all times, but this works even better. You can drill little holes and make a whistle and get yourself out of a fix. Make sure you carry a knife to make the holes with. The other thing you can use this for is you can make an airplane out of this. And, an airplane can get you, out of the city in an emergency. Also, if you're sunbathing on Solvay Island, at Carson Beach, it's a nude optional beach. If you're sunbathing there, you don't have anything. Don't come crying to me because you don't have any emergency supplies. But you can go out in the woods and get some bamboo, and you can make a boat with the bamboo. And just in case there's a tidal wave that comes up the Columbia River, you're ready. Now we know historically that Noah made his ark out of bamboo, and that his ark ended up on Mount St. Helens 6,000 years ago. And when Mount St. Helens blew 6,000 years ago, he was able to use that same ark to travel down the hot lava flow. He ended up in Hillsdale. So you have to, bamboo is very, very versatile. Thor Heyerdahl also used bamboo. That was a great experiment. The second thing you want to always have is a pickaxe with you. And a pickaxe is a very sharp instrument that you can use in case there's a Cascadian subduction event, an earthquake off the coast. You're nodding. You've been there. That's the seduction. Seduction, coast, or subduction? Seduction. And you want to make sure you have a pickaxe because you don't want to get caught in between any kind of rocks. You can climb out from them, and that's very, very important. What else can you use a pickaxe for? Anybody?
Self-defense.
Self-defense against what? Animals or
A rock, a living rock.
a living rock, a lava rock?
What if there's a golem of some sort attacking?
A what?
A golem of some sort.
A golem, yes. The golem will be handled with the birth of You also, in a settle down classes, so no laughing zone, please. You do want to have, everyone knows from my last set, you do need to have a rope, and we all know about the 405 bridge and earthquakes. But basically, a rope, if we do have a volcanic eruption, you can lower yourself down from the volcano with a rope. In case you're hiking up Mount St. Helens or you're going up to Mount Hood, they're all volcanoes that can erupt at any time. The important thing that I like to bring with me, and I've been collecting this for years, I've been collecting this for over 60 years, is tinfoil. Tinfoil's very important. You can actually get tinfoil even out of cigarette packages. They still make cigarettes? Do they still make cigarettes? And they have little pieces, but you can... so I've stitched these all together. And I made a... in case of a nuclear fallout or a nuclear attack, I made a SpaceX suit. It does repel radiation. Very important thing, make sure you have plenty of this around. It also helps keep the environment safe as well. The next thing, of course, is to have a knife. And a knife is, you know, when you do land on another planet and you need to cut yourself out of the tinfoil, you can extricate yourself out of tinfoil very easily, or you can make the rope smaller in case you need to rappel off 2 different places at the same time. Also, you know, it's going to get kind of scary around here at some point. I've been collecting seeds, garden seeds, okay, for when the big move happens, we'll be safe. We have garden seeds here. These expired in 1989. They're still good. There's broccoli and cabbage. Make sure you get ones that are colorful, because if they don't have a good picture on the front of them, they won't look like that when they grow. I recommend not getting Burpee. Burpee is not a very good seed company. And all these things will help reduce the risk of you getting injured or dying by a hazard. It'll get you out of a lot of things. I am collecting livestock at this time in my apartment. The livestock I'll be able to bring with me in case I have to get out. I do have a pickup truck. I recommend everyone get a pickup truck or a cargo bike to transport the livestock where we're going in life. Very, very important to have plenty of livestock. You can start small. You can start small with some baby chicks or something, and then and move on up depending on how much space you have in your apartment. Electricity we want to avoid the risk of not being able to see at night when we lose electricity. So I do recommend either whale oil, beef tallow. Well, beef tallow is really great. It's actually a little bit better than whale oil. Beef tallow you can use for multiple things. Beef tallow you can burn as a flame to see with. You can also cook with it. It is edible, and now we're being told that you can use that on your face to give you a good complexion. Does anyone here use beef tallow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You do. And it's also multi-purpose lubricant. I actually use Tri-Flow instead as my multi-purpose lubricant. This is great for bicycle chains. It says it's a superior lubricant, so you have to believe what you read. It does come with a very small applicator for tight places. I don't know why people think that that's funny. That's what the applicator is for. And there's a little hole at the top of this. You stick the applicator in and squeeze it. So the other thing is, I always have a compass. All my friends know that I always have this compass around my neck. It's easier than wearing an amulet. It will tell you which way is. I think you need to go this way, but it does tell you which way is north. Luckily, we live in a city where the streets run northeast, south, and west, except for Sandy Boulevard. So please do not use this near Sandy Boulevard. Sandy Boulevard, or for that other place, wherever that is. The place that's shaped like a star in the middle of the city. Ladd's Edition. Thank you very much. Who's been studying that? Birth control. Make sure, the thing about birth control is people don't realize children are the most natural hazard on the earth. The biggest hazard on the earth, and the natural hazard it's not volcanoes, it's not a flood, it's not a tsunami, it's children. So you want to make sure that you're using multiple birth controls all at once. So sponge, diaphragm, abstinence, A vasectomy, condom. I'm wearing a condom right now. I'm wearing a condom right now because I don't want to accidentally inseminate someone. Easy there, boy. Easy. Alvin knows what it's all about. Yeah, you want to make sure that you have plenty of birth control in life. We have a new phenomenon happening. I don't know if anyone's know what's happening now outside there with the government. Anyone? Can someone tell me what's happening?
Utter collapse.
What's that?
Utter collapse.
Utter collapse.
General fuckery.
A general fuckery. Yes, very good. General fuckery. Well, we do have. They had in the Middle Age. They had edicts. In the Middle Age, we do have them now. They're the Doge edicts, and basically, it's simple. It's to eliminate hazards. So it does work in with my teaching here, and I'm very glad that they have these edicts. So the high price of food is very hazardous. What's it hazardous to?
Your wallet.
Your wallet. Very good. Have you heard this before? It's always somebody that raises their hand first in class, isn't it? Yes, it's hazardous to your wallet. And what food group right now is the most hazardous to
Well, I
your
can't
wallet?
even buy whale
Chicken
oil.
eggs.
Chicken eggs, very good. So, well, how do we eliminate that? How do we bring the price down? What do we do?
Birth control.
Birth control. Close. Okay.
Duck eggs.
So what we're going to do with chicken eggs is the government is going to eliminate chicken eggs. Okay, they're going to put a ban on chicken eggs, and it's going to work in well with their anti-abortion as well. All chickens will be required from now on to bring their eggs to term. And so there will be absolutely no chicken eggs. Chicken eggs are going to be eliminated. We will have a glut of baby chickens. Baby chickens will be the new delicacy. Day-old chicken will be $18 per chicken, but we will eliminate the high price of eggs. And as far as food goes, food is going to be very expensive, so we're going to be using biodiversity. Biodiversity for the efficiency apartment, a duplex, tenement, and granny flat. Now, what that means is that we'll all be required now to grow our own food in whatever space you have. The little extra room you have, you can have a vegetable garden in there. You can grow some squash in the kitchen, and so what this also means is that, especially with a duplex, is really good because you can have chickens in one of your rooms, and then your neighbor can have some goats, and you can share. Your neighbor's goats can come over and clean up after the chickens every month, and this will be really good. It's biodiversity, all right. So clear out that extra space and start growing some food in your home. It'll be very enlightening. The other thing too is Doge is going to look at environmental hazards. Environmental hazards, especially with trash. What happens with trash right now? Landfills. Or what do landfills do? They ruin the environment. So we're going to get rid of landfills. Everybody will be responsible for processing their own trash. And you will find a spare room. You can put your trash in the spare room. And when you run out of space in your spare room, you take your trash, and you're going to use your emergency matches. You can burn some of the trash for heat, and that'll solve another problem. And then you can take the food scraps and you can feed them to your chickens. And then also you have all the tin cans that you have. You can have a forge inside your house and make bicycle parts out of the tin cans. So that will be part of the next lecture on biodiversity. Will be all about food and how we deal with food in the United States. Are there any questions? Not everybody raised their hand at once. There, I know the tall guy right there has a question. I see him smiling.
How do you get rid of Doge?
How do you get rid of Doge? We get rid of Doge by we can change the name to this to Dodge. And this is a car manufacturer, so we can change that to Dodge, and it no longer exists. We've actually substituted the name, so it no longer exists. Up back there.
Yeah, Mr. Gurman, what is your
What?
preferred method of birth control?
My preferred method of birth control? Well, it involves baby chicks. and a Q-tip. Was there another question?
Yeah, how do you afford a house with that many rooms to do everything in your list? So I can afford a
Rooms?
house, period.
And in your rooms?
Yeah, with all the rooms, because you said there's a different room for each thing. How do you afford a house with that many rooms?
Well, you can section off your studio. You don't need that much space. A bed only takes up this much space. If your studio is the size of this platform here, you only need this much for your bed. Your bathroom can be here, and your kitchen here. You have plenty of room to grow a lot of food for a whole year. All right, no more questions?
Where do you buy your whale oil?
Oh, my whale oil, I used to buy it at Dick's, but you can only now get it at Moby Dick's. And the beef tallow, I used to get at Dick's also, but that's now, I get it in Salem at Bull Dick's. Thank you for asking.
We certainly feel a lot safer now, don't we? Yeah! Section off your studio. Maybe the beef tallow would work for you. You take 3 swallows of that a day, and you'll be, I don't know. Keep it going for Mark. He brought all this stuff up. He pastes that shit up every class. It's really amazing. Keep it going. In fact, let's bring all the performers up to take a bow. Billy Mamato, ladies and gentlemen. Billy. Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. Philippe Tebet. Michael Moylan. Jethro Rosen. And Mark Gurman. Where's Mark? Come on up. Let's take a bow. It's a really tough thing to put yourself out here like this. They are world champions. Give it to them. Thank you. Thank you. Hoopla! Thank you all for coming out. PortlandComedy.com if you want to sign up for a class and be famous like these folks are tonight. And we'll see you maybe next Friday for the next showcase. Good night. Thanks for coming out.